Hello there, fellow coin enthusiasts and collectors. Welcome back to the channel World Rare Coins, where we dive deep into the world of rare and valuable coins that could be worth a small fortune. From hidden gems that could be worth a fortune to little-known coins with a rich history, we'll explore it all. And if you're new to our channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on any of our exciting discoveries. And now grab your magnifying glasses and let's start our today's video. On top one today, we've got an exciting discovery for you. A coin that might be sitting in your collection or even hiding in your pocket, worth far more than you could ever imagine. We're talking about the 1983 United States quarter dollar. At first glance, this coin might seem like just another standard quarter. It's made of copper nickel and features the iconic design of George Washington on the front, with the eagle and a few stars on the back. But what if I told you that this seemingly ordinary coin could actually be worth a small fortune? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this 1983 quarter could make you richer than you think. Let's start by talking a little about the history behind the 1983 quarter dollar. The year 1983 was a key moment in U.S. coinage, as it marked the year the United States Mint began mass-producing coins with new minting techniques. At this time, coins were in circulation all over the country, but the Mint also made some slight changes to the way they were produced. These changes created an opportunity for certain coins to become rare and highly valuable. But what makes the 1983 quarter dollar stand out in particular? The answer lies in a very small yet significant detail: a minting error that occurred in some quarters that year. The error is known as a double die variety. Essentially, what happened is that the coin was struck twice, causing the design to appear slightly off-center and doubling the impression of certain details. This mistake is subtle but noticeable upon close inspection, and it's precisely what makes these quarters worth so much. Now, you might be wondering, how do you tell if you've got one of these special 1983 quarters? Look closely at the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" on the obverse side of the coin. On a normal 1983 quarter, these words should appear crisp and clear. However, on a quarter with the double die error, you'll see a doubling effect, where the letters appear faint and double-stamped. This is a key feature that can increase the value of your coin dramatically. The rarity of this error is what makes it so highly sought after by collectors. Even though millions of 1983 quarters were produced, only a very small number exhibit this particular error. And since the U.S. Mint only produced a limited number of quarters with this flaw, finding one in good condition is incredibly rare. So, what's the big payoff if you happen to find one of these elusive coins? Well, if you've got a 1983 quarter with the double die error in near mint condition, you could be sitting on a treasure worth $58,000. Yes, you heard that right, $58,000 for a single quarter. This small coin, which might otherwise be worth just 25 cents, could be a life-changing find for any coin collector. Now, if you're wondering how to go about checking your coins, or if you're out there hunting for rare quarters, remember that the condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value. Coins in excellent, uncirculated condition with minimal wear will fetch the highest prices. If you find a 1983 quarter with this error, make sure to store it properly, away from dirt, scratches, and heavy handling. To maintain its value. In the world of coin collecting, mistakes can turn a simple piece of currency into a valuable artifact, and this 1983 quarter is a perfect example of that. So next time you come across a quarter from 1983, make sure to check for those key signs of the double die error. It could be your ticket to a significant windfall. On top two, we're going to talk about a very special coin from the United States of America, the 1984 quarter dollar. At first glance, it might seem like just another piece of pocket change, but trust me, it's much more than that. You might be surprised by the hidden value in your pocket or coin jar. Now, you might be asking, what makes the 1984 quarter dollar so unique? After all, there were millions of them minted and circulated. But here's the thing. While most of these quarters are not particularly valuable, there's a specific variation that could make you thousands of dollars richer. And I'm not talking about just any quarter from 1984. This one has a special characteristic that's hard to spot. But once you know what to look for, you'll be on the lookout for it everywhere. To understand what makes this coin so valuable, let's first take a look at the history behind the 1984 quarter. During the 1980s, the U.S. Mint continued to strike coins with a similar design that we still see today. George Washington's portrait on the front, with an eagle on the reverse. But as with many coin series, a few rare and unusual errors can sneak in during production, and those errors are what make some coins so highly prized by collectors. The 1984 quarter dollar became famous for one such error, an off-center strike. When a coin is struck incorrectly, the design may shift or be misaligned, and the resulting coin becomes a rare find. In the case of the 1984 quarter, the off-center error is what makes it so sought after. This happens when the blank metal planchet isn't properly aligned in the coin press, causing the design to appear off-center. The result? A quarter that looks slightly distorted, with part of the coin missing its design, but it's exactly this imperfection that makes it so valuable to SO. How can you tell if you have one of these rare 1984 off-center quarters? It's all about the alignment of the design. If you look closely at the coin, you'll notice that the image of George Washington or the eagle might be misaligned or shifted to one side, leaving part of the coin blank. This error is subtle but unmistakable once you know what you're looking for. While the mistake is small, it's incredibly rare, making these coins highly desirable for collectors looking to add unique pieces to their collections. The appeal of error coins like the off-center 1984 quarter dollar is rooted in their scarcity. While millions of quarters were produced in 1984, only a tiny fraction of them have the off-center strike. And because this error wasn't intended, finding one in great condition is even rarer. Most of the quarters that had this error were circulated heavily, meaning they often show signs of wear. But if you're lucky enough to find one in good or even near mint condition, you could have a coin worth far more than its face value. Now, I know you're curious about just how much this rare 1984 quarter could be worth. So, here's the exciting part. If you happen to find a 1984 off-center quarter in excellent condition, you could be looking at a value of $55,000. That's right, $55,000 for a single quarter. What might seem like a simple 25-cent coin could end up being a life-changing find if you come across one of these rare errors. So, how can you go about finding these hidden treasures? Start by checking your pocket change, looking through old coin collections, and maybe even visiting local coin shops or online marketplaces. If you find a 1984 quarter with an off-center design, make sure to handle it carefully and keep it in the best possible condition. Remember, the better the condition, the higher the value. In the world of coin collecting, it's these small, unexpected finds that can make all the difference. So, keep your eyes peeled, and you just might stumble upon a coin that could be worth thousands of dollars. Who knew that a 1984 quarter could be so valuable? On top 3, we've got a real gem to talk about, the 1986 United States quarter dollar. Now, you might be thinking, it's just another quarter, right? But this isn't just any ordinary quarter. There's something truly special about the 1986 quarter that could be worth a fortune if you happen to find the right one. It's a treasure hidden in plain sight, and today, I'm going to show you exactly why this quarter could be worth far more than its face value. Let's start with some history. The 1986 quarter dollar is part of the series that has been minted since 1932, featuring the iconic image of George Washington on the obverse side. On the reverse, we see the classic eagle design that symbolizes strength and freedom. But like many coins, it's not always the design that makes the coin valuable. It's the rare and sometimes hidden features that can skyrocket its worth. In 1986, the U.S. Mint continued its regular production of quarters, and these coins circulated throughout the country, serving their purpose as legal tender. However, something unexpected happened during the minting process that made a small number of these coins incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. These rare 1986 quarters have a special feature, a minting error that makes them stand out from the rest. The error we're talking about today is known as a double die variety. This happens when the die used to stamp the coin is misaligned and strikes the coin more than once, creating a doubled effect on the design. On a regular 1986 quarter, you would see a clear, crisp image of George Washington's profile and the eagle on the reverse. But on a double-die 1986 quarter, the design appears slightly duplicated, especially around the lettering, where you might see the words like Liberty and In God We Trust appear twice. Finding a double-die quarter is an exciting discovery for collectors. These coins are rare because only a small number of them were struck with this error, and even fewer remain in excellent condition. The double die error gives the quarter a unique, almost magical look that makes it a must-have for numismatists or coin collectors. Imagine holding a coin that not only has historical significance, but also tells the story of a rare mistake in the minting process. So, how can you tell if you've got one of these valuable 1986 double die quarters? It's all about the details. Start by closely examining the inscriptions on the coin, particularly the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" on the obverse. If you notice any doubling of these letters or see a slight shift in the design, you may have stumbled upon a coin that could be worth far more than its face value. If you're lucky enough to find one of these rare coins, the condition is key. Coins that have been well preserved without heavy circulation marks or damage can fetch a much higher price than those with wear and tear. The better the quality of the coin, the more valuable it becomes, especially for error coins like the 1986 double die variety. If you happen to find one in near mint or mint condition, you could be sitting on a real treasure. Now, let's get to the exciting part, the value. If you find a 1986 quarter dollar with the double die error in excellent condition, you could be looking at a coin worth an impressive $52,000. Yes, you heard that right, $52,000 for a single coin. Imagine finding something as simple as a quarter, only to discover that it's a rare piece of history worth thousands of dollars. This is the kind of discovery that makes coin collecting so exciting. So, what should you do if you find a 1986 quarter with this rare error? The first thing is to handle it with care. Keep it in a protective case to prevent any further damage. Then, you can either have it professionally graded to determine its exact condition and value, or you can take it to a reputable coin dealer to get an appraisal. As a coin collector, it's always thrilling to think about the potential hidden in your pocket change. The 1986 quarter dollar with the double die error is just one example of how a small minting mistake can turn a seemingly ordinary coin into a priceless treasure. If you've got a collection of quarters or happen to find one in your daily change, take a moment to examine it closely. You never know when you might stumble across something worth thousands of dollars. On top 4, we're going to explore a fascinating coin that could be sitting in your collection or even hiding in your pocket. We're talking about the 1987 United States quarter dollar. At first glance, this may seem like just another typical quarter, but there's a catch. This 1987 quarter has the potential to be worth far more than you think. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll see why this seemingly common coin could be your next big find. Let's take a step back and dive into the history of the 1987 quarter dollar. The design of this coin is a continuation of the iconic Washington quarter series, featuring George Washington on the front and an eagle on the back. These coins were part of the U.S. Mint's regular production and circulated widely throughout the country. But just like many coins, the value of a particular year's issue can be influenced by rare variations or mistakes made during the minting process. And that's where the 1987 quarter stands out. What makes the 1987 quarter dollar so interesting to collectors is the presence of an extremely rare minting error. While most of these quarters are worth only 25 cents, there's a select few that have a significant flaw, a double die error. If you're unfamiliar with what that means, it's when the design on the coin is struck twice, causing the image to be duplicated or slightly misaligned. This error is incredibly rare and doesn't happen with every coin. It only affects a small percentage of the 1987 quarters, and finding one in great condition is an exciting discovery for any collector. So, what do you need to look for when checking your 1987 quarters? The key is in the details. A double die error will cause some areas of the coin to look doubled. For example, the inscriptions like "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" will appear more than once, creating a faint second image next to the original. The doubled image is usually visible in the lettering, and sometimes it's subtle, but once you know what you're looking for, it becomes easier to spot. If you come across a 1987 quarter with this distinctive double design, you've got yourself a rare find. But why does this particular error make the 1987 quarter so valuable? First off, it's because of the rarity of the error itself. The U.S. Mint produces millions of coins each year, and most of them are flawless. But every so often, a small percentage of coins are struck with errors like this, making them incredibly sought after by collectors. The 1987 double die quarters are rare, and even more so when they are found in pristine condition. So, if you're lucky enough to find one in excellent shape, you could be sitting on a valuable coin. Now, let's talk about the exciting part, Just how much is a 1987 quarter with a double die error worth? Well, if you find one in top-notch condition, you could potentially sell it for a staggering $49,000. Yes, that's $49,000 for a single coin. Imagine holding a quarter that, for all these years, may have seemed like just pocket change, but is now worth a small fortune. It's the kind of discovery that could change your life, and all you need is the right coin in the right condition. So, how do you go about finding one of these valuable 1987 quarters? Start by looking through your collection of quarters or checking your pocket change. Pay close attention to any 1987 quarters you come across and examine the design carefully. The double die error can sometimes be subtle, but with a keen eye, you'll be able to spot it. And if you think you've found one, be sure to protect it. The condition of the coin is crucial to its value, so store it in a safe place to preserve its quality. If you happen to find a 1987 quarter with the double die error in mint condition, you could have a treasure worth thousands of dollars. Coins like these don't just represent the history of the US, but they also embody the thrill of the hunt and the excitement of discovering something truly unique. It's these rare finds that make coin collecting such a rewarding hobby. On Top 5, we have a fascinating story about a coin you might have overlooked in your collection or perhaps in your pocket change, the 1988 United States quarter dollar. Now, you might think it's just another regular quarter, but believe me, this little coin has a lot more to offer than meets the eye. Stick with me as we uncover what makes this 1988 quarter so special and why it could be worth far more than just 25 cents. The 1988 quarter dollar was part of the long-running Washington quarter series, which has been in circulation for decades. On the front, we see the timeless image of George Washington, and on the back, the iconic eagle representing the strength and freedom of the United States. But just like any year's coinage, not all 1988 quarters are created equal. Some of them, due to certain minting errors, can actually carry a much higher value. And that's exactly what we're going to dive into today. One of the most sought-after versions of the 1988 quarter is one that features a rare minting mistake, an error that many collectors dream of finding. This error is known as the off-center strike, and it's exactly what it sounds like. During the minting process, the metal blank, or planchet, that's used to make the coin is not properly aligned in the press. This causes the design to be struck off-center, leaving part of the coin without any design at all, or with a slightly misaligned image. It's these quirky and unexpected imperfections that can make a coin incredibly valuable to collectors. When it comes to the 1988 quarter dollar, the off-center error is particularly exciting because it's rare and often overlooked. In most cases, the misalignment is subtle, but in some rare instances, the design can be significantly off-center, creating a strikingly unique look. The off-center error doesn't just make the coin stand out. It also adds an element of rarity that makes collectors eager to find one. So how can you spot an off-center 1988 quarter? It's all about examining the design carefully. Look closely at the portrait of George Washington and the eagle on the reverse side. If you see that part of the design is missing, or the images seem to be shifted to one side, you could have an off-center error on your hands. In some cases, the misalignment can be slight, so make sure to check for any unusual gaps in the design. Now, here's the part that really makes this coin so exciting. If you happen to find an off-center 1988 quarter in excellent condition, you could be looking at a coin that's worth a small fortune. A well-preserved 1988 quarter with this error could fetch a remarkable $46,000. Yes, $46,000 for a single coin. That's a huge amount for something that you might have once thought of as just pocket change. Imagine finding a quarter in your spare change and discovering it's worth thousands of dollars. It's like striking gold. The rarity of these off-center quarters is what makes them so valuable. While the US Mint produces millions of quarters each year, only a tiny percentage are affected by this minting error. And even fewer are preserved in such good condition that they can command such high prices. If you do find one, it's important to keep it safe and in the best condition possible, as the value will only continue to rise as time goes on. So how can you start your hunt for these hidden treasures? It's all about paying attention to your quarters. Check your collection, your loose change, or even visit local coin shops. If you come across a 1988 quarter dollar that looks a little different from the rest, take a closer look. The off-center error is rare enough that you'll want to give it some extra attention. And don't forget, the better the condition of the coin, the higher its value will be. The 1988 United States quarter dollar is just another example of how something as simple as a coin can carry an incredible amount of value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, coins like these make the hobby that much more exciting. You never know what rare and valuable coins are hiding right under your nose, just waiting to be discovered. Thanks for tuning in today. If you enjoyed learning about the 1988 quarter dollar and its hidden value, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss out on future coin discoveries. Happy hunting, and remember to always check your change. You could be holding on to a small fortune without even knowing it.